Yo, what's up? What's going on, CK fam? This is your boy, CliffordAKyei here. As you can see by the title of today's video, church hurt does not mean leave the church. Yep, we went there with this topic, y'all. There are many people who do not go to church no more, don't want to have nothing to do with church or want to have anything to do with God because of church hurt. And before we start this video, I just want to make things clear that I'm not necessarily here to say that what people are doing is right. I'm not here to say what people are doing in the church to hurt people is right. But what I am here to do is to encourage the one listening to me who has been church hurt to try it again. Oftentimes, one of the first things you must understand before we get anywhere in this video is that something that belongs to you, the enemy will always be interested in. Number two, the enemy will always try to fight you out of your place. The sign that you know that you're supposed to be in a place is the fact that the enemy keeps fighting you in that place. Unfortunately, our generation has become the I quit generation. So every little resistance, we quit. But I encourage you to stay in the kitchen because, the heat is in the kitchen. And if you can't stand the heat, you don't deserve to be in the kitchen. And I want you to know this, that we're all human beings. And the last time I checked, human beings are not perfect. The last time I checked, human beings are full of faults. And so I want you to know this, that don't accept what people do and think is okay and how bad they treat you and think is okay. But have the understanding that there's something called human nature. And as long as you're breathing, as long as blood is running through your veins and your body, you are bound to be hurt. You and I are bound to be hurt. Someone will step on our toes as long as we have 2 feet and we're standing up alive here on this earth. And so you get offended and you get hurt in your workplace and you don't quit work. You get offended and you get hurt in the club and you don't quit going to the club. Sometimes somebody crosses you on the street while you're driving and you don't say, I'm never driving again. And so why is it that we quit so easily on church when we're church hurt? I want someone listening to me to know this, that you've dreaded this for way too long. Don't play the victim game. Your purpose is more important than you holding on to what somebody has done to you in the church. The church may be imperfect, but the God of the church is perfect. And so on behalf of the church, for anyone listening to me who have been church hurt, I want to say sorry. I want to apologize to you. And at the same time, I want to stand in as your big brother, your little brother, depending on who's watching, to encourage you that who you are comes to life when you're in community. And we made a video about this, that you're most alive when you're around community. The enemy's agenda from the very beginning has always been to isolate you. And it is in his plan to let us think that church, especially in our generation, is not important. So many people believe that they could just stay at home and watch sermons and be okay. They could just read your own Bible in the house and be okay. There are some dimensions of God you would never get to know until you fellowship with other believers. That's where revelations comes in. Revelation is a deep and a secret understanding of who God is, revealed to me in my secret time. And so when we come together and we fellowship, we share in our understanding on who God is. God is so huge that no one person can have a full understanding of who God is. And so this person will understand God this way. This person will understand God this way. When we all come together in the church and we fellowship and we share with one another, we get to understand who God is. And so, listen, there are more benefits in the body of Christ in going to church than the negatives. Don't let the negative outweigh the positives. And so please, I know you were listening to me, you probably use COVID as an excuse on why you're not going to go to church anymore. But listen, find a good Bible teaching church and go to the church. I know one of them I could personally recommend to you. I go to All Nations Church, New Jersey. And if you find yourself in Georgia, there's a church there as well, our mother church, All Nations Church, Karis House, in Logansville. But listen, whatever you do, find a church and go to. Because in this year, I strongly believe that most of what God will do in people's life will be a result of the community they're connected to. And so I pray that God will give you the strength to forgive. I pray that God will give you the strength to let go. We all know that you're the victim, but don't keep playing the victim. Let God defend you. I personally would like for God to defend me instead of me defending myself, because I discovered that when God defends me, He knows how to do it more than me. And so I pray that for the one listening to me who have been discouraged, who probably don't want to have nothing to do with the church, that this video will serve as a confirmation, as an instruction from the Lord to you to return back to your first love. No matter who you are. I know you're probably more successful now since you left the church. But this life of Christianity, this life for us as human beings, as God's children, is not only about success. Success is cheap. Relevance is expensive. And so don't look to only be successful. Look to be relevant. And it's bigger than success. You want to look into leaving a legacy, and most importantly, leaving a legacy for God. And so I pray that this video encourages you. But church hurt does not mean leave the church. I'm not also saying stay in a place and keep on being abused and all of that. But my point is this. The enemy will always try to fight you out of your place. And there's more benefits for you than what the enemy is trying to use to discourage you. And so, I've been there. I've experienced it. I've been in a point where I experienced church hurt, and I was very, very discouraged in my previous churches and all that. And I've also been on the other side where I've hurt people in church. And I could be honest and transparent enough to tell you both sides that no matter what or which side I've been on, we all need each other. And so let's try our best to love one another. And the love of God is bigger than yourself. It's bigger than how you feel. Again, it's not me suppressing what you're going through, but it's me as a little brother, big brother, trying to hold your hand and push you up to a standard that you're supposed to be. That you're supposed to love God, His people. You're supposed to love His church, even when the church disappoint you. People will forever be people. But one thing I know is that God never changes. People can change, but God never changes. And so don't go to church necessarily because you want to impress people. Go to church, serve God in the church that you're in also because you respect God and because you want to please God. And so, I pray for anyone listening to me that is church hurt again, that God Himself will restore you in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, in your body even, in your entire soul. Go back to church. That is how I'm going to end this video. Just go back to church. And trust me, it's what you need. It's what you need. I love you. Remember that as we're bridging the gap, this is still our season of order. And lastly, don't forget to be blessed. Be yourself and be happy. Peace.